Hello and welcome to Cities Skylines. I'm Colonel Failure and I will be taking you through traffic madness as usual. So in the last few episodes we have been looking to just stop the rot in the city so that it doesn't fall apart while I start redeveloping the whole thing from the ground up using the areas we haven't yet built on. This is going to be a slow and exciting process, but the basic idea is I wanted to restart my city. You fine people who watch these videos said, oh no you don't, continue with this mess that you've got. So I decided, right, fine, I will start a new city while continuing with this mess that I've got. So you only have yourselves to blame. Now, today I'd intended to do a kind of a mod spotlight on a mod called Traffic++, which I'm sure that many of you are familiar with due to its many varied and wondrous facilities that it has. The downside is that there was just a patch for the game. Patch, yay! Made mod incompatible. Boo! So, not yet. I haven't played with it yet. I installed it, tried it out on this game, and it just errored all over the shop. Now, my understanding is that the guys who put this together in the first place are pretty capable, so there should be an update to it relatively soon, at which point I'll go through it in detail. And I'm faintly optimistic that in partnership with the Traffic Manager mod, it should be able to resolve every single problem in the city. Every last one of them. Yep, 100% confident, that's what I am. Anyway, more on that another time. Today we're going to be... I don't know. I feel like I'm very close to actually starting the new city area. We're topped up on 126,000 population at the moment, which is about our limit. And there is demand. We've got demand for commercial. We've got money in the bank and a 14,000 a week budget surplus. Things are looking shiny, which means that we cannot be too far away from the plague again. That's how this thing works. The plague will tip up, everyone will die. I will, wonder why, what and where is causing the problems, and we'll go through this painful circuit again. What's your issue? Crime rate is high in this playground. Yeah, some kids playing rough, clearly. Yeah, but you never know. We might not. Maybe we won't crash and burn this time around. I've made a few changes since the last recording. We've demolished all but... Let's use some overlays to show this stuff. We now have only one garbage dump left in the city, and it's only 10% full. We are now burning all the trash that comes up with incinerators. And as you can see, there aren't that many areas complaining of trash, of garbage, of rubbish. Choose whichever word suits you best. See, look, very few complaints. I mean, they're complaining about other stuff, but screw those guys. And that's largely because when I started replacing waste dumps with incinerators, I tried to place them in a nicely spread out fashion. And now that, I've got one dump that's still emptying, which is here, right there, 8% full, magic. And as soon as that's done, I'll delete it. And that's causing some problems with traffic flow at the moment, because obviously those trucks are heading out to other places that they can have that stuff incinerated. It shouldn't be a big problem. So once that's removed, that will take some of the strain off traffic. This is, an area of significant concern of mine. It's a really dumb idea to put all your services in one area, because you end up with, wall of garbage trucks that are looking to go pick stuff up, and in so doing, they clog up local lines. So the wisdom here is to, put them out in an isolated area like this one or like that one, and spread them out for God's sake, because you want to make sure that they can get to do their job, but not with so many vehicles that they end up slowing the whole process down. Anyway, I've largely got that sorted in what we're calling the old town. Could probably do with one out here somewhere, actually. So I think once that's empty, I'll bulldoze it and put one out there. I've also been doing the same thing with cemeteries. So I've been getting the... Let's show it. Press the button. With cemeteries, I've been emptying those out and replacing them with more crematoriums. This is a good thing. To be honest, I've got enough crematoriums now. It's simply a case of emptying out the what are they called? Graveyards, cemeteries. Emptying those out and letting the world do its thing. The only downside is that when you delete a a cemetery, the local population yell, boo, frankly. But it is exactly the right kind of size for you to put a park in its place. So they all go, oh, you deleted the cemetery full of ghosts and spectres and flowers. And you kind of go, have a park. It's full of ghosts and spectres and flowers. Yes, you make them happy by replacing it with a park. That's what I've been doing. Anyway, right, so the question is, do I let this run a little bit further, or do I just kind of go like, yeah, traffic is screwed, and it's going to be screwed for forever because this is a bad city. I laid it out badly. And do we now make a move for our new city? I know exactly what I'm doing. I've tried it already. I think I might be onto a winner. The real question is going to be whether anybody moves in the first instance, because there are nicer places that already exist. The good news is that I can over-index on services, public services, the kind of things that people actually like. Tricky? I don't know. Should we do it? Shall we? I didn't realise that was a whacking great hillside. I had hoped that was a little flatter. See, Atlantis would be the perfect place to do it, but in order to do so, I'm going to have to delete this dam and then leave it to drain. I'm going to take 30 seconds to come up with a decision. It's either going to be this area here, which I imagine is equally hilly. Yep. Or this one over here. What shall I do? What's this? That's just some grey. Alright, okay, yeah, we're going to go here. We're going to get started. Yeah. Are we? For sure? For definite? Yes. Stop procrastinating, man, and get on with it. Okay, so the fundamentals to, and we're going to occupy this whole chunk of land, right? The fundamental is allowing people to get around this area with considerable ease, and for those fans of public transport out there, don't worry, there will be public transport, but people like their cars, and as such, I want to make it easy for them to use it. So, here's the plan. We get highways, right? I know, you're going, oh man, you're not doing highways again. What's the matter with you? Are you simple? Yes, I am simple, but the fundamental that we're doing here is we're going to lay these highways in a particular fashion, and that fashion is underground highways, ladies and gentlemen. And we're also only going to run in one direction. Now, that might be problematic and I need to give it some thought. However, that's what we're going to do. You'll see that I've tried it. It works. It's beautiful. It also stops traffic build-up in quite such a horrific fashion. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to build an underground ring road using a one-way highway. Actually, let's use one with a measuring stick here. Let's have a nice broad corner. Alright, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, there we motor up here. We keep it going straight in as far a direction as we want. Actually, let's not do it all in one hit. I want to try and keep things at right angles. No. Right, try that again. Now, the only thing that might cause problems here is the fact that we're now underground, which means I might need quite a bit more space than I originally intended in order to to get this working. However, you are not running in parallel to the edge of this zone. So let's do some of that. How much did that just cost me? Was that 42 grand? Bloody hell. Okay, right. Then we'll do another 2. Now, when you're doing one of these, don't rush off and do it just yet. As much as I've tested this, it might be an absolutely dreadful idea. So you might want to hang on until after it's been in motion for a bit, and you can see the ethos, the effect that it has, working perfectly. We'll go right out to the coast here, I think, because obviously the shape of this zone leads it in a mysterious way. Alright, back to straight lines again. See, now I could have done this. My original thinking was I shall do this with nobody watching, and then just unveil it in a ta-da kind of a fashion. But I decided that you might enjoy watching me just drawing some underground roads. And if you don't, you know where the fast forward button is. Okay, right, that feels like it might be close enough. It's not. Brilliant. One more. In fact, I'm pretty certain this is an uneven length, because, yep, my perfectionism knows bounds. Many of them. Right, let's go as far as there. Right, how far do we need to... Ugh, don't like that much. Let's delete back a little. Oh, hello, what's this graphical corruption we've got going on? Stop that. That's not what we turned up for. Let's go from this one. Maybe we just make the curve a little bit more aggressive on this one. Right, delete one more back. No, we're going to try and do this properly. The whole point of this, man, is we're trying to do it properly. Delete back a little bit more. There we go. The game is clearly, somewhat baffled at my decision to do nothing but build underground. That feels close-ish. Kinda, mostly. Oh, you didn't go far enough. Go to there, and then up to... Okay, go another 1. Up to... Close enough. Not close enough. Look, if you're going to do something and you're going to try and get it right, then try and get it right. Okay? It's that simple. Alright, 1, 2. We want 1 over. Let's go 2 over and then up. Yeah, stuff it. Let's just do that. Let's just connect it up. Okay, so it's not a perfect square. It's a near perfect square. Right, so that is our ring road. That is going to that's going to do a lot of the heavy lifting for the traffic that uses this area. And you might go, well, yeah, okay, well, I sort of see what you're driving at. Now, I might do one that goes the opposite way on the interior, but to be honest, I don't think that's actually going to help. Not in a significant fashion. Now, it's only going to travel in one way, and I need to upgrade that now. Of course you can upgrade that type. Turn it the other way around. Let's start right here. There we go. Right, so yeah, I'll talk while I'm doing this, because as I'm sure you're stop it. Already aware, I'm just tops at multitasking. Okay, so the basic idea here, way steady on, is that underground is where the heaviest traffic is, so it won't interfere. And correct me if I'm wrong, or it won't create issues. Stop it. Won't create issues with too much noise pollution. Now, because it only runs in one direction, the hope is that it shouldn't get too snarled up. A lot of the how much have I missed here? That I keep getting graphic corruption happening is disconcerting. Okay, I decided to do that while you weren't paying attention because I was just going to talk rubbish over the top of it. So there we go. Right, so that's our square. It is a it's all flowing clockwise here around this square, and this is going to go underneath just about every kind of zone you can imagine. Let's make some pictures. Yeah, let's not make some pictures because that might wreck the game. Okay, so it's under there. We don't know where, but it is. It is under there. Now, we have existing services in terms of, you know, we've got the in and out of city highway. Marvellous. And I'm not going to change it. I'm going to leave it exactly as it is, but provide some junctions to get on and off our underground megastructure here. And that doesn't need to be particularly complicated, except for the fact, of course, that we've got the flaming train here, which is going to make it complicated because that's just not going to. It's not going to want to work. Let's have a whoa. From there, right, and then we want you to go underground. Now, are you going to do that without making a fuss? So far, so good. So that corner is tighter than we want. Let's delete that. So the goal is to make this, you know, it's going to have a lot of traffic on it, right? I mean, that's just a given right there. It is going to be packing the traffic in, and that's okay. I'm optimistic that because it only flows in one direction, that we won't have people using the underground section as a shortcut. It will just be used as the means of getting around. Right, okay, so there's our first tunnel in. Junction's not exactly as I'd like, but it'll do. And there's the junction back out again. Alright, we'll go as far as here, and then come back up to the surface and merge on. Okay, so what traffic can do now, should it see the reason to do so, is it can zip out under there, head round the entire city, and come back out the other side. Glorious and amazing. And, you know, better still, I don't need... Do I need... Hold on. Yes, I do need. I was about to say something stupid, so I'm not going to say it. You already know what I was about to say, and it is stupid. So we also need to feed off from here to get back on there for people going that way, and doing the same in the opposite direction. Right, I'll do that. Back in a mo. Okay, I've got these slip roads done. They're not particularly sexy. I rebuilt the ones that I'd done before. I'll probably make those look a little bit better in the future. But it'll do. It'll do for the moment. This is proof of concept time, all right? So, you know, don't criticize just yet. Well, you'll criticize if you want to. So, basically, we've got the option to get onto the underground, off the underground, on, off, and then up this end. Same deal. On, off, on. Right? Got it? Makes sense? Clear as mud. Good. Right, so next thing we want to do is we want to, you know, actually put together some infrastructure in this area. Those are horrible. All right, I'm going to fix those while you're not here, because it's going to take me a while, and I don't want to look like a complete Charlie. Right, so first things first. Our go-to guy here is going to be this regular, straightforward, two-lane piece of road. You know, it doesn't handle huge capacity of traffic. But what it does is it keeps things at a nice slow pace, and that's really what we need at this point. And everything, given the fashionability thereof, is built around circles. 3, 4. So this is our central roundabout here. 3, 4. Except it's not just a roundabout. It's kind of it's part of a district in itself. And why am I building it underground? I don't want it underground. God, you're an idiot, man. Alright, we're just going to pretend this didn't happen, right? Okay, yeah, alright, good, that's gone. Right, back to the surface, build it on the flaming surface, you total muppet. Right, okay, 3, 4, there we go. Now, the fact that I'm building this on a hill might make it tricky, But it should mean that when I get round to bulldozing the old city, and I know, I'm going to. It's going to happen. I'm going to bulldoze the whole of the old city. Once we've... I mean, the goal is going to be to get the new city functional. And, in fact, by which I mean new cities functional. And off the back of that, the old city is a goner. So I want to keep the population largely static. That's central, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, want to keep the old city largely static in terms of population, or the whole city in terms of population completely static, and we're just going to expand off of the new build. Do I want to? Yeah, I think I might just get a little bit more building area in here. 1.5. No. 1.5. I'm not even entirely sure this is symmetrical. Oh, it looks symmetrical. 1.5. Now, I'm not going to build the whole city in a geometric, symmetrical fashion. I am going to build a fair bit of it that way, though, because that's what we're aiming for. Okay, so we're going to have one here. We'll probably have another over here. Let's make this one a 3. 2, 3 instead of a 4. No, that's a straight line. And while straight lines may be groovy, that's not what we want right now. 1, 2, and 3. 2, 3. Yeah, here is that aforementioned multitasking not happening. Right, almost done. And then I'll talk some more. Pay attention, though, because you don't want it to look rubbish just yet. You've got plenty of time for it to look terrible later on. Okay, so see these two circles. Let's build the central lines here. I can probably do that while still talking. Yeah, so these two here represent kind of the major hubs in this section of the map. And this is where, you know, the majority of the action is going to kind of spill out from. 1.5. And in order to make these work, they're going to be connected up onto the underground system, right? So those two could effectively be part of the same thing. I could provide power, provide water, get all of those good servicey bits done, and then everybody's happy. Everybody's just delirious and over themselves. Now I've tried this on a much smaller scale, so I don't know if this is going to work. But off each one of those, we then have satellite systems. So we'll go out by a couple here, and we'll go out by what's a good number there? We'll have a 3 off that one, and we'll go off by I'll go off by a few there. And the trick is not to make these equidistant. Mess around. You don't have to follow any kind of a pattern in the slightest. It's entirely down to your own taste. And at the moment, what you're saying is, what are you playing at? What's your caper? You gigantic... How is this ever... You're a madman. It's not going to work. Right, we're going to need another big circle up there, but that's okay. You'll see. And it will work, and you will be impressed and engaged and amused. And you will tell your friends, I have seen this mad design for a thing, and I like it. Right, so it looks like that. Now, at this point, you're probably going like, well, I can see why you wanted the money. You're just gonna spend it all by drawing pictures with roads. I'm going to spend a lot of it by drawing pictures with roads. But there is method to my madness. There is a good reason for this, and it works, and it's extendable, and it looks great, and the kids love it, and it makes you more appealing to the opposite sex, or the same sex, if that's what floats your boat. Hell, it makes you more attractive to every sex. There you go. How's about that? Okay, so I'm just going to finish this bit off, and then I'm going to leave you wondering what in the hell I'm working on, because I'm going to leave it there. I know, yeah, that's me for you. It's a teaser. It's going to get you engaged in turning up for the next episode, which will turn up later this week. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I've been Colonel Failure. This is going to work. I promise you, it's going to work, and you're going to be suitably impressed, and you're going to question yourselves forever doubting that this was going to work. Thanks very much for watching today. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already, especially if you want to see what the hell this is going to turn into. I've been Colonel Failure, and I will catch up with you very soon. Thanks for watching. Cheerio.
Listen.